What if you knew there were clear signs that would tell you if he was the one? In a time when dating apps and social media have made finding a partner more complex than ever, it seems almost impossible to find out if the person you're with is really the love of your life. But the truth is, the answer to this question is often hidden in the little details that we overlook. It's about more than just spark and passion. It's about trust, appreciation, and the ability to grow together. But how do you know that? Love in the modern world. The modern world has changed the way we experience love and relationships. Technology, changing social norms, and individual expectations have profoundly influenced the understanding of relationships. While previous generations often relied on traditions and family connections, today the focus is on personal freedom and self-realization. With this change comes the challenge of finding the right partner. Someone who not only fits emotionally, but also shares your individual lifestyle, values, and goals. In a world with so many options to choose from, it's often difficult to know whether the man you're spending time with is actually the right person for a long-term, fulfilling relationship. Making this decision requires more than just gut feeling. It requires deep reflection on the dynamics of the relationship, one's own needs, and the long-term prospects. Sparks and butterflies or more. In the early stages of a relationship, everything is exciting. Butterflies in the stomach, intense conversations, and the feeling that anything is possible. This phase is often referred to as the honeymoon phase, where everything seems perfect. But those sparks alone aren't a reliable indicator that he's the one. Passion can be fleeting, and true love often only shows itself when the first challenges arise. Emotional chemistry versus deep connection. It's easy to form an emotional connection with someone, especially when there are shared interests or strong physical attraction. But emotional chemistry doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship rests on deep foundations. An important step in this phase is to ask yourself, can you build a deeper bond with this person even if the initial passion wanes? Times of challenge. How does he behave? It's easy to get along well when everything is going well. But how does your partner behave in difficult moments? The way someone responds to stress, conflict, and challenges is often a better indicator of the longevity of a relationship than the way they act in happy moments. Shared values and life goals. The basis of a successful partnership. There are many guides that emphasize that opposites attract, and while this can be exciting in the early stages of a relationship, studies show that couples with shared values and goals often have the longest lasting relationships. Values. What is important to you in life? Your values determine how you live your life, the decisions you make, and how you treat other people. If you're with someone whose values fundamentally differ from yours, it will be difficult to have a fulfilling relationship in the long run. For example, how important is family to you? How do you feel about topics such as career, free time, and social commitment? Life goals. Are you heading in the same direction? Even if the chemistry between you is right, different life goals are often a stumbling block. Do you want to start a family in the next few years while your partner would rather travel the world and concentrate on his career? Or do you dream of a quiet life in the country while he thrives in the city? These differences can cause serious problems over time if not addressed early. Communication, the key to harmony. A frequently repeated mantra in the relationship world is, communication is key. But what does that really mean? It's not just about talking, it's about how and when you talk, and most importantly, how well you listen. Openness and honesty. Can you talk to your partner about everything? Or are there topics that you avoid out of fear of conflict or misunderstanding? A healthy relationship is characterized by both partners feeling like they can be open and honest with each other without fear of judgment or rejection. Active listening. Often we focus so much on presenting our own perspective that we forget to really listen. Active listening, consciously absorbing and understanding what the other person is saying, is crucial for effective communication. Respect and mutual appreciation, the invisible pillars of a strong relationship. Sometimes it's not the big gestures that make a relationship strong, but the small invisible things. Respect, appreciation, and the recognition of individual freedoms and needs. Respect for differences. Nobody is perfect, and everyone brings their own quirks and weaknesses into a relationship. The question is how well you and your partner can deal with these differences. Respect means accepting others as they are and not wanting to change them. Recognition of achievements and strengths. In a healthy relationship, both partners should support and appreciate each other. Recognition doesn't just mean praise for great achievements, but also for everyday things. A simple thank you or acknowledging each other's efforts can work wonders. Trust and security, without them, it doesn't work. Trust is the foundation of every relationship. Without trust, it is difficult to build a stable, long-term partnership. Build and maintain trust. Trust must be earned and can be strengthened or destroyed by actions large and small. It's about keeping promises, being honest, and being there for each other in difficult moments. Emotional security. Do you feel emotionally secure in your relationship? This means that you know that your partner supports you, takes your feelings seriously, and is there for you in difficult times. The balance between closeness and independence. In a healthy relationship, there should be a balance between time together and individual freedom. Too much closeness can be oppressive, while too much distance weakens the bond. Common interests versus individual hobbies. It is important to have common interests, but it is equally important to leave room for your own hobbies and passions. A relationship in which both partners value and promote their individual freedom has a higher chance of lasting in the long term.
Jesus.
In every relationship, both partners should have the opportunity to develop personally. Personal growth is a lifelong process that not only strengthens us as individuals, but also enriches our relationships. Without independence, this process could stagnate. You should be able to learn new skills, explore hobbies, and grow professionally and emotionally, regardless of whether your partner shares your interests or not. A relationship in which both partners have the freedom to develop individually leads to deeper mutual respect. You learn to see your partner not just as a lover or life partner, but also as an independent, capable person who goes their own way in life. This, in turn, strengthens the emotional bond because you are both able to inspire and learn from each other. The space to stay true to yourself. There is nothing more important than staying true to yourself. In a healthy relationship, neither partner should feel like they have to change to make the other happy. Unfortunately, it often happens that people who lose their independence in a relationship begin to subordinate themselves to their partner's expectations and wishes. This may seem harmless at first, but in the long term, it can lead to loss of self-esteem and frustration. By maintaining your independence, you not only protect your own values and beliefs, but also ensure that you can be authentic to your partner. A relationship based on authenticity is much more stable and fulfilling than one in which one partner constantly has to compromise on their own personality. If you no longer recognize yourself, how can you expect your partner to continue to love and respect you? Independence strengthens trust. Another reason why independence is important in a relationship is trust. When both partners are able to spend time apart and pursue their own interests without feeling threatened or neglected, deep trust is created. This trust is the basis for emotional security in the relationship. It's normal for partners to want to spend a lot of time together, especially in the early stages of a relationship. But if one partner constantly demands the other's closeness and feels uncomfortable when the other partner pursues their own activities, this could indicate insecurities. Such dynamics can quickly become toxic. Independence, on the other hand, creates space for healthy boundaries that make both partners feel like they can trust each other and don't need to be together all the time to maintain the bond. The balance between closeness and freedom. Of course, a relationship is also characterized by closeness and intimacy. Nobody says you have to be independent by completely cutting yourself off from your partner. Rather, it's about finding a balance, the right mix of closeness and individual freedom. Maintaining this balance is the key to a fulfilling relationship. By cultivating your own friends, hobbies, and interests, you ensure that the time you spend with your partner is particularly valuable. You have more topics to talk about and more experiences to share with each other. On the other hand, if you become too focused on your partner and invest all your time and energy into the relationship, you risk the relationship becoming overwhelming. Too much closeness, as strange as it may sound, can smother the fire of a relationship. A certain distance, in the emotional and physical sense, ensures that the longing and interest for each other is maintained. The path to an equal partnership. A relationship in which both partners are independent promotes equality. A give and take develops in which neither partner feels pushed into a subordinate role. Both have their own interests, their own friends, and their own goals, and yet they consciously choose each other. This equality is crucial to avoid feeling like one partner has too much power or control in the relationship. Independence means living your own life while choosing to share that life with another person. You're not forced to stay with your partner because you couldn't live without them. You stay with them because you want to. Conclusion: independence as a sign of maturity and stability. Overall, independence in a relationship is not a sign of distance or disinterest, but rather an expression of maturity and emotional stability. It shows that you as an individual are strong enough to take care of yourself and that you won't sacrifice your own identity to please someone else. The best relationship is one in which both partners maintain their independence and are still there for each other as equal individual people who choose each other out of love and respect, not out of dependence. Even in a close relationship, both partners should maintain their independence. This means that you don't completely rely on your partner to be happy, but that you can also live a fulfilling life on your own. The importance of compromise. No relationship can work without compromise. In a relationship, it is often about finding a middle ground that is acceptable to both. When are compromises necessary? Compromises are particularly important in conflict situations, but in everyday life, they can also make the difference between harmony and constant arguments. When should you not compromise? However, there are also limits. Some things are so fundamental that it is difficult or even impossible to compromise. This includes personal values or deeply held beliefs, physical intimacy and its role in the relationship. Sexual attraction and intimacy play an important role in a relationship, but they alone are not enough to make a partnership strong. Just like emotional closeness, physical intimacy also needs to be nurtured and respected. Balance between passion and emotional closeness. While passion is often the focus in the beginning, it is the emotional